your background prior to serving with 224 and what led you into the Marine Corps. If you can talk a little bit about that, that'd be awesome.
Sure. So that would probably take me back to probably as early as 6th grade. I was interested in going to the Naval Academy. My parents we lived in Norfolk, Virginia for a few years growing up, and a lot of my parents' friends in Norfolk were in the Navy and Academy grads, and I just became sort of enamored with the idea of what Annapolis stood for. And I remember going into my parents' room one day in 6th grade and telling them I was going to go to the Naval Academy, and they told me, when I come up with a more practical idea to come back and talk to them. I just never came up with a more practical idea. So people ask me a lot, what was it about joining the military? Because that was something fairly unique in my family. My grandfather served in World War II, but beyond that, not any military service in the family. And I don't have great answers for that, other than it just felt like it was the right thing to do. So I went to the Naval Academy, fully intending to be a Navy pilot. I was sort of like bigger Top Gun generation. And I'd say 2 weeks after I got there, I changed my mind and wanted to go in the Marine Corps. And it was very much around at the Academy. You had some Navy officers and you had some Marine officers. And I felt the example that the Marine officers provided, the tradition, the esprit de corps, was something that I wanted to be a part of. And that was nothing to take anything away from the Navy by any stretch of the imagination, but it was just something that very much appealed to me. So out of the Academy, I went to the basic school in Quantico, and then chose infantry as my specialty. Went to the infantry officer course there in Quantico, and then went and joined 1st Light Armor Reconnaissance Battalion in Camp Pendleton. Sort of, that would have been years 94 to 96. Did one Westpac tour or deployment, I should say, peacetime deployment in 96. Came back and then went to back to Quantico for 3 years to be an instructor at the basic school, instructing second lieutenants in tactics and leadership. Got out of the Marine Corps in 99 simply because I wanted to coach high school basketball. I came from a very basketball fanatical family, and it was always something that I had sort of in the back of my mind that I wanted to coach. Did that for a couple of years. Then my daughter was born, Ashley, in 90, or I guess that would have been 2000. Sort of came face to face with the reality of having to provide for family. We decided we wanted my wife to stay at home full time with any kids that we may have. And I joined GE, worked there for a few years, and then went and worked at Bank One. And that brings me to 224. Bank One was in Chicago. That would have been sort of circa 2003. I knew that 224 was out of Chicago, and I think that was at that point in my life where a number of my friends, I had friends who got back into the military full time on September 12th of 2001. I had friends of mine who were still in the military who were, over in Afghanistan at that time. Some that were gearing up for the first phase of OIF, and I think that I felt like I probably had not given enough, and so that's when I joined 224. I got incredibly lucky to get assigned to Golf Company out of Madison. I think when I first joined the battalion, they asked me if I wanted to be in the battalion